didn't begin with a think piece. It didn't begin with a press release or a calculated takedown. It began with something far more powerful: a laugh. Jamie Kern Lima, the self-made founder of IT Cosmetics and the woman who turned rejection into a billion-dollar win, didn't need to prepare a statement. When asked about the latest Meghan Markle controversy, she leaned back and laughed. It was the kind of laugh that cuts through spin and signals a shift in mood. It was casual, but it landed like a hammer. In that split second, her unfiltered reaction said what a growing number of people had been whispering: we're tired. Tired of the performance, tired of the story, tired of watching the same scene play out over and over again, just with new set pieces and polished lighting. That laugh traveled further than any official soundbite. It became a cultural tuning fork. On TikTok, in group chats, in boardrooms, people weren't just watching Meghan anymore. They were evaluating her. And what Jamie did, without ever intending to ignite a firestorm, was offer a verdict shaped by real-world grit and hard-earned discernment. She wasn't throwing shade. She was offering clarity. Because Jamie Kern Lima knows what it means to be doubted, overlooked, underestimated. She knows what it takes to build something authentic in an industry that prizes illusion. And so, when she sees illusion masquerading as empowerment, her instinct isn't to attack, it's to illuminate. Meghan Markle has long positioned herself as a woman wronged, misunderstood, mischaracterized. That narrative had resonance once. In the early days post-royal exit, there was sympathy to spare. The idea of a woman breaking free from an antiquated institution felt liberating. But stories, like brands, have lifespans. And somewhere along the line, Meghan's tale of escape began to look more like a strategy of eternal victimhood. As Jamie sees it, the empowerment playbook shouldn't be about redirecting all attention inward. Real empowerment lifts others up. It builds community. It breathes life into shared progress. But Meghan's version of that script seems to keep circling back to the same solo spotlight. The misunderstood heroine, once again center stage. What Jamie Kern Lima is calling out isn't Meghan's pain. It's the weaponization of it. She sees a troubling pattern. Apologies never land. Accountability is always deferred. Bridges burn quietly, then are mourned publicly. And the media machine turns again. But what makes Jamie's take hit harder is that she isn't some celebrity gossip commentator looking to stir the pot. She has no horse in the race. She's not auditioning for clicks or angling for relevance. She's already built her empire, sold her company for over $1 billion, and walked away on her own terms. Her credibility isn't performative. It's proven. And that's what Hollywood is listening to. Not just the words, but the underlying data. Jamie's laugh became a moment of truth in an industry increasingly allergic to risk. Meghan and Harry were once seen as disruptors, fresh air blowing through the stagnant halls of royalty. But now, the sequels are all starting to feel the same. And behind the curtain, decision-makers are no longer swayed by surface appeal. Executives and brand reps are recalculating. Because unpredictability cloaked in purpose doesn't sell. It scares investors. And Hollywood's memory is short for hype, but even shorter for drama fatigue. Deals once inked in gold are now being whispered about in past tense. Streaming giants are quietly asking why deadlines are missed, why the vision keeps changing, why the partners they signed are now liabilities instead of assets. And Meghan's once unshakable brand of liberation is starting to look like a constant exercise in damage control. That's not sexism, it's market correction. Jamie isn't trying to cancel Meghan. She's pointing out what everyone in the room already feels, but few are brave enough to articulate. If the story never evolves, the audience eventually leaves. The impact isn't just reputational, it's operational. Behind the scenes, the production chaos is real. Publicists are on edge. Writers feel constrained. Collaborators talk about a culture of shifting narratives, unspoken expectations, and disappearing allies. Meghan's charm is undeniable. But so is her volatility when things don't go to plan. Promises are made, then repositioned. Critics are framed as betrayers. And even the most loyal allies are slowly stepping back. It's not because they don't care, it's because they can't afford the fallout. And Harry, the once lovable rogue prince, isn't immune either. The man who once captivated the world with cheeky charisma and rebel spirit now appears disillusioned, even bitter. His energy has shifted. Conversations around him have too. Meetings feel heavier. His presence no longer sparks creative momentum, but cautious calculation. People no longer ask, "What magic can we make with Harry?" They ask, "What happens if this goes sideways?" The couple's presence at events once guaranteed press coverage and audience intrigue. Now, their absence is just as telling. Invitations dwindle. Premieres proceed without them. It's not a snub, it's an adjustment. Hollywood doesn't wait, and as more collaborators feel the chill, more doors close, not with malice but with finality. It's not personal, it's business, and business is moving on. Still, the most disheartening part of all this isn't the decline, it's the squandered potential. Meghan and Harry could have been different. They had every advantage: global attention, institutional experience, and a real shot at reshaping the cultural conversation. But attention without trust is a fragile currency, and over time, that currency has devalued. Not because people hate them, but because people stopped believing them. And yet, the window isn't fully shut. Redemption is still possible. Audiences forgive. Brands rebound. Hollywood loves a comeback, but that path requires one thing above all: humility. That means dropping the curated victimhood, owning the missteps, letting others speak, doing the work when no cameras are rolling. If Meghan and Harry want a future in the public sphere that isn't built on controversy, they have to rebuild their foundation with something stronger than grievance. They have to stop reacting and start leading. Jamie Kern Lima's laugh was not cruel, it was cathartic. It was the laugh of someone who knows what real empowerment looks like, what it costs, and what it earns. It was a sound that broke through the noise and reminded us all that authenticity isn't just about being seen, it's about being believed. And right now, belief is in short supply. The spotlight is still there, dimmer now, but waiting. The question is, when it shines again, what will we see? Because the industry isn't looking for another headline, it's looking for substance. And it's running out of patience for those who mistake performance for progress.